निज भाग्य पर कर मेहरबानी, नित्य ही अपनी हे आत्मन। ऐसा न हो के काल कोई खेल ऐसा खेल ले, तेरी प्रजा तुझसे बगावत फिर नया कोई छेड़ दे, फिर नया कोई छेड़ दे। पहरा लगा रख सावधानी, चित्त पर अपनी हे आत्मन। अंतर की निगरानी तू कर अपनी, राजन तनिक तू राजधानी, देख ले अपनी हो योग युक्त कर दे काया रोग मुक्त अपनी। राजन तनिक तू राजधानी, देख ले अपनी हे आत्मन, हे आत्मन, हे आत्मन।
Today we will be reading the Murli that was spoken by Baba on March 7th.
Sister, voice is not clear, sorry.
Is it better?
Little better. You can be little more loud.
Okay. So I was saying we will be reading the Murli of March 7th, 1995 that Baba had spoken. The topic of the Murli is to be a Brahmin means to be a soul who has a right to the authority of religion and to the authority of self-sovereignty. So Baba always keeps mentioning that when you're in Satyug, when you're a Dev Atma or a divine soul, both the right to authority and authority to the religion and the authority to self-sovereignty, they would be combined at that time in Satyug and Treta Yuga. And it's only after the Satyug and Treta Yuga, in Dwapar Yuga, that the authority of religion and the authority of sovereignty, they get differentiated. So the ruler does not have the authority of religion. So the religion is different and ruler is different. But in Satyug and Treta Yuga, Baba says both these authorities, religion and self-sovereignty, they are together with the ruler. This is what Baba will be talking about in the Murli today. So let's start.
Sister,
Today,
is it possible to modulate your voice? Because we're not getting it quite clearly.
Okay, let me just change my earphones.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 minute. Is it a little better now?
Yes, this is better.
Oh. So today, Bap Dada was seeing in the children from all four directions two special authorities. One is the authority of the religion, and the other is the authority of self-sovereignty. Each one of you has received these two authorities, the speciality of Brahmin life. So what is the speciality of Brahmin life? Having these two authorities of religion and self-sovereignty all together. The authority of religion means truth and to be the embodiment of the inculcation of purity. And the authority of self-sovereignty means to be one who has all the rights and to be able to make all your sense organs work under your control. So Baba says the authority of religion means truth, or we can say purity and truth, and somebody who's the inculcation of purity. It's a very big thing, being an inculcation of purity. Having purity and being an inculcation of purity are two different things. But an authority of religion means being an inculcation or an embodiment of the inculcation of purity. And by authority of self-sovereignty, Baba means having all the rights and being able to make all your sense organs work under your control. And many times Baba has mentioned in many of the Murlis that this practice, which we would be actually using in Satyuga and Treta Yuga, this practice or this inculcation has to come in the Sangam Yuga. And these are the sanskars that we have to carry. So that's why Baba says that Brahmins are supposed to have these two authorities and get these sanskars into the divine soul as well, or the devtas. Someone who has the right to self-sovereignty and has the authority of self-sovereignty will not be subservient to a situation, to matter, or to the forms of Maya, but will be one who has all the rights over them. So subservient, giving in to any situation, to matter, or to Maya. If that continues to happen, then the authority of self-sovereignty is lacking. Bap Dada has enabled every Brahmin soul to attain both these authorities, has he not? Do all of you have both these authorities? Or do you not have them fully? We have sometimes, but not all the times. Only those who attain both these authorities at the present time can claim all the rights to both the authority of religion and the authority of ruling in the future. See, underline. If we are able to attain both these authorities in the Sangam Yuga as a Brahmin soul, only then we can claim these rights in the Satyuga or the next birth. So Baba is asking, have you imbibed both these authorities? Have you seen your picture? Which means Baba is saying, have you seen your mirror with both these authorities? Is it your picture, having both the authorities, or is it of the people of Bharat? Is it the picture of the double foreigners? Are you sure that it is your picture? Is it someone else's picture? Have you seen the sign of both the authorities in that picture? Baba is showing the picture of the final form, the true form, the Lakshmi Narayan form, or the Vishnu form. And he's saying, can you see the sign of both the authorities in this picture? Then Baba is asking, do you know them? You have the picture of heaven here. There is the sign of these and that, is there not? The sign of the authorities? The sign of the authority of religion is the crown of light. And the sign of the authority of ruling A kingdom is the crown studded with jewels. So both the crowns, which Baba calls, you have two crowns. One is the crown of light, and the other is the crown of rule, or your own kingdom. It's the one which you wear on your head, and the one which is there behind the crown of light is the authority of religion or authority of purity and truth. So have you seen this picture of yours? You imbibe both these authorities at this time, and because of this, both the authorities are in your hands for half the kalpa. It's the sanskar that we carry. If you look at it from the copper age, the authority of religion became separated from the authority of rule, or the authority to rule. Both these authorities get separated when we get into copper age, and our souls, when they weaken, the authorities get differentiated. And this is why the religious founding fathers had to come. Yeah? The new religions were formed. Islamism, Christianity. This is why the founding fathers have been different from the kings. However, will they be different in your kingdom, which is in Satyuga and Treta Yuga? Everyone has both the authorities at the same time. The ruler has both the authorities. And this is why the kingdom continues whilst being constant and free from any obstacles. So we don't have to take advice from the authority of religion, because the ruler himself is the authority of religion as well as the authority of sovereignty. So Baba was seeing both these authorities in all of you, as to what extent each of you has imbibed them within yourself, and to what extent you have developed all the rights. Baba keeps asking us to check, keeping the true form, the final form in front of you. Keep checking, where am I today? And Baba also keeps checking these qualities, these authorities in us. Do you constantly remain one who has all the rights? Or is it that sometimes you become subservient and sometimes someone has all the rights? The Baba is saying, is there fluctuation? Or do you constantly have the rights? Would you like it if one moment you had all the rights and the next moment you become subservient? Is that good? Or is it good to constantly have all the rights? Of course, it's good to have constantly all the rights. But sometimes Maya takes the lead. Do you wish to have all the rights at all the time? Or will it do if you have them for a short while only? Baba is asking, is it okay if it is only for a short while, so that you just remember that I used to have at one time? Or do you wish to have them constantly? Acha, do you have them constantly? Baba is asking. Do we have them constantly? You said yes, for wanting this for all time. So everybody would have said that we want it for all time, constant, but we don't have it. So do you have them, or do you still need them? Baba is asking. Since the Father himself is giving you all the rights, the one who has to give is giving. What should those who are taking these do? Baba is asking. I am the one who is the giver of these rights. I am giving it. And what should the taker of the rights do? Is it easy to take or to give? Baba is asking the children. What is the easier thing? To give or to take? It is not difficult to take, is it? In terms of giving, you have to think about it. Should I give? Should I not give? Should I give a little or a lot? However, in terms of taking, everyone would say, let me take as much as I can. There is just one answer. Whatever I'm getting, let me just take. So are you number one or number two in taking? So Baba is asking that when I am giving for free, why are you number one and number two in taking? Is giving easy or is taking easy? What are you taking? Baba will ask you about giving later on. Baba is not even asking about giving others right now. He's saying, just take from me. He's saying, are you number one in taking? No one becomes number two in this. And when it comes to giving, then are you also number one in giving? Or do you have to think about it? Now Baba is asking that when you take, when you are content, when you are fulfilled, that's when you would want to share anything that you have good. So Baba is saying, do you have to maintain the courage to give? You need courage to be able to give. In fact, if you look at it, what do you really give? Baba is asking us, what exactly do we give? In Brahmin life, is it giving or receiving? In Brahmin life, we receive so much from Baba. We take so much from Baba. The day we are born as a Brahmin, we keep receiving. That day itself, we receive the right to be born in the Satyuga and Treta Yuga. From the day we become a Brahmin, there are so many things that we keep receiving every day, 24 hours. It's the Sangam Yuga, that's why it's called the Yuga where you can take anything or write your own destiny. So in Brahmin life, is it giving or receiving? It is giving. Somebody might have said it is giving. If the thing that you are taking is more elevated than the things that you are giving, then is it taking or giving? This is a very nice question. Because in Sangam Yuga, we also give away our vices. We give away all the unrequired, unnecessary things that will not go along with us in the next birth. So that's what we give. And then we get a lot in return. So Baba is now asking us, so what do you give? What is it? What is easier? When you are getting things which are much more elevated and you have to give very small things which you don't even need, then what is better? It is giving or it is giving, is it not? Or is it taking? When you think that you will have to give, that you want to give, then you become heavy. If we start thinking, oh, I have to give so much, I have to do so much purusha, I have to give away all my vices, that's when Baba says you become heavy. When you have to receive something, somebody is saying, I have a gift for you, come take it. You constantly remain happy and easily maintain the courage. In terms of giving, you think it is difficult to give. It's so difficult. However, you first receive and then you do not give anything. Actually, if you see, giving away vices is not actually giving. It is something which was never ours, right? We just acquired it over a period of time and we have to give it back. Do you have anything that you would give to the Father? When you give something, you normally give something that is good. Do you not? Right? Now Baba is asking, do you actually give me anything? Because what you're giving, the vices and the unnecessary things are not something that I need. It's only for your benefit. Or would you give something bad? What do you have that is good? In Kali Yuga, at the end of the Kalpa, there's nothing that we have which is good. Is your body good? Or is your mind good? Or is your wealth good? It is all useless. You are making the body continue by pushing it with medicine. Is a car that needs to be pushed good? Baba is asking. So in the Brahmin life, you do nothing but you take. That's why it's called the diamond youth. A Brahmin life is known as the diamond life. And Baba smiles that the children are even cleverer than the father. First you take and then you think of giving. You are clever, are you not? It is good. Baba likes it when the children are clever, but he does not like it when the children become dull whilst moving along. So while moving along in our efforts, sometimes Baba says the children become dull and I don't like it. Sometimes from the faces of the children, one can tell what has happened to them. Just as when there is a little blood in the body, there is weakness. When the blood in the body is less, you feel weak. And one can see this weakness on the face. You become pale. So too here, when there is weakness in terms of lack of happiness and the powers, either of them, when there is lack of happiness or there is lack of powers that we gather from Baba, then our face becomes like dull. All of you know this. All of you are experienced in this. On the other hand, you say that you have received the mines of happiness and that they too are imperishable. And so, how can they be reduced? How can the happiness reduce when it is imperishable? Baba has a picture of all the different changing moods of your mind for the whole day, and also of your faces that change according to your mood throughout the whole day. You make a museum of pictures, whereas Baba has a museum of pictures of the faces of all of you. Baba says you make the museums of pictures, so many museums, and Baba has a museum of our faces. So constantly remember that you are a Brahmin soul, that you are a soul who has a right to the authority of ruling and to the authority of religion. That's the Swaman for today. I, the Brahmin soul, have the right to the authority of rule and the authority of religion, both together. Let there be the faith and the intoxication of this awareness. First comes faith and then the intoxication. When you have faith, there is intoxication. And if the faith is lacking, the intoxication is also less. So check whether you constantly have both these authorities or whether you sometimes lose them. Acha, the double foreigners are in the majority. Bab Dada is especially asking the double foreigners. Do you constantly remain set on your seat of all rights, or do you very quickly become upset? Baba is asking, do you remain constantly set on your seat, which means do you always be happy, or do you very often become upset? You do not quickly become upset, do you? What happens? Do you remain set or do you quickly become upset? Say no. No or yes. Do you get upset? Or is this something of the past, not of the present? It has become the past, has it not? You do not have this anymore, do you? You have now become knowledgeful and powerful. Do you get upset? So Baba says, if you are knowledgeful and powerful, can you get upset? Do you get upset over trivial matters so that you face changes and your mood changes? Is it like this? Or does this only happen sometimes? Do you sometimes become upset? You are saying yes. So everybody would have said yes. Sometimes we do get upset. Even the Pandavas are saying yes. Acha, those of you who never think about getting upset, that you have forgotten how to get upset and have become such powerful souls, raise your hands. Baba says you should forget what getting upset means. That's the final stage. I don't know how to get upset. Those who never get upset, raise your hands. So at least you are speaking the truth. And so, congratulations for that. So nobody would have raised their hands because we haven't achieved that stage yet. This season, you will leave something behind in Madhuban, will you not? Or will you take something back with you? You will at least leave something behind in Madhuban. So you have now celebrated Shivratri. Baba is saying, what should you leave behind for me? You have now celebrated Shivratri. The majority of you have celebrated. What do you give to someone whose birthday it is? What should we give? You give a gift to the one whose birthday it is. So what gift have you given to their father? Baba is saying, give the gift of never becoming upset. That's all Baba wants from us. Do you have this courage? Promise Baba that Baba, we will never get upset. Acha, raise your hands. Take a picture of everyone's hands on TV. Raise your hands firmly after careful consideration. Very careful. We are making a promise to God. Acha, even those who are translating, raise your hands. Look at the picture of everyone's raised hands has been taken. Just be careful now. Just a photo has been taken. Okay, so be very careful. Baba has this picture. Bab Dada does not like that face. He never likes when his own children, they become upset and have mood swings. Bab Dada constantly wishes to see a constantly blooming spiritual rose, not a wilted flower, but one inconstant bloom. You always do whatever the one you have love for likes. Yeah. If we love someone, we like to do things for them and we only like to do what they like. Is it like this or not? Double foreigners have a lot of love for the Father. Do you have love for the Father? Do all of you have love? And how much? They would have said a lot. You also like that which the Father likes. Do you not? Now, no one should send the news saying, what can I do? The situation was like that, and that is why I have become upset. Baba says, I don't want to hear this news now. Even if the matter that comes in front of you is the one that upsets you, you should never allow yourself to be upset. It's in our hands. When you swing in a swing, it goes up and down a great deal. So a swing also makes you upset. It comes down very low and then goes up very fast. And so it upsets your body. However, because you consider it a game, you don't become upset, do you? Then why do you become upset? In the swing, when we are coming down, we know that we will not fall and we'll go back again. So we don't get upset. So Baba says, why do you get upset when these fluctuations come in life? When I have told you that I will not let you fall. Because you consider it to be a game. When we are swinging, because we consider it to be a game, we don't get upset. Instead of becoming upset, you consider it to be a form of entertainment. What is the reason for it? It is a game. When any situation that upsets you comes in front of you, and they will definitely come. Baba says the situations will not stop coming till the end. They will definitely come to those who have raised their hands, because Maya is listening and she is also hearing the word. Baba says, you all have raised the hands and now Maya was watching you. She knows whom I need to go to. So she's hearing the Murli. So do not become afraid, Acha. If it swings you, then let it swing you. But the mind should not become afraid. Become knowledgeful and become powerful. If we are in the knowledgeful and powerful stage, we will remember that this is only for entertainment and this is a game. This is drama. Do not let go of that seat and then see what happens. When Maya once or twice sees that you are not going to get upset, she herself will become upset. What's the use of going to them? They don't get upset. Then she will not upset you. You may have an exchange about the situation with others. When anything comes in front of you, because of being knowledgeful, you understand whether it is all right, whether it is not all right, whether it should happen or whether it should not happen. However, and have an exchange about the situation in the form of a conversation, not whilst getting upset. You just have an exchange if required, but don't get upset and then talk to people. On the one hand, you would speak about it, but on the other hand, the Ganges would be flowing, the knowledge. Whether you let them flow in your mind or through your eyes, neither is good. So, are you ready to give a gift? The gift of not being upset. Have you thought about it, or have you just said yes for the sake of it? So, we will stop here for today and we will take up the remaining part of the Murli tomorrow. But today's Murli was very, very subtle and at the same time very light and simple to understand. So before we get into the questions, anybody wants to share any of their churning, we will have a 1 minute silence and then move on. Okay. So anybody wants to share their own churning for the Murli today?
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Yeah. Today's Murli was very beautiful regarding the gift Baba, where Baba has mentioned. While giving the gift, never become upset, right? So this reminds me of a small 1 minute story. Can I tell? It's
Yes,
about
sure.
it's about Karna. We all know that Karna was a Mahadani. He's known for his for that he is famous. So while he was in the house and he had a golden cup which contained oil in his left hand, and he was applying it on his head. All of a sudden, a Brahmin comes and he says, "Bhavati Bhikshan Dehi." So at that moment, Karna doesn't know what to do. Immediately, he gives that pot of that cup of the oil, that golden, which was made of gold. It was in his left hand. Though it was in his left hand, he gave it right and then to the Brahmin. So actually, we say that when we give something, we should give it in right hand. But here, Karna doesn't give it in right hand. He gives it in left hand. For that, the explanation is like the mind is such that the moment, if by the time that I transfer the golden cup from my left hand to right hand, I don't know what changes would be there in my mind. I might not feel like giving it. So then and there, he gives it up. He gives that as a gift from his left hand. So
Right.
there's a lot. Thank you.
Very beautiful. So a sister was saying that when you have something and you need to give, especially as a Brahmin, give it right there and then, especially the things that you don't need here in Brahmin life. For example, Baba spoke about not being upset. So just give it, don't think, because even from transferring from left hand to right hand, you will get one microsecond to think about it. Very beautiful. Anyone else? So Baba spoke about 2 authorities. What were those authorities? Or 2 rights that go together in Satyuga and Treta Yuga? Yes, please.
Baba spoke about 2 authorities. These are the speciality of Brahmin life, authority of religion. It means truth and to be the embodiment of the inculcation of purity. Purity of mind, purity of intellect, purity of thought. Another is authority of self-sovereignty, that is to be one who has all rights and able to have control over the sense organs and work accordingly. So when we are having these 2 authorities, we can claim our rights in Satyu. So we should be very cautious and looking forward for the Satyu. We now, right at this moment, we should decide that how we can acquire these 2 authorities. Om Shanti.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Sujata. Yes, so Baba kept mentioning about these 2 authorities, the self-sovereignty and the authority to religion. And he also explained, as Sister Sujata was mentioning. And we need to keep checking ourselves in the mirror as to till what extent I am constantly the achiever or attainer of these 2 authorities. Very nice. And then Baba also mentioned in the Murli today about 2 kinds of weaknesses that we have. What are those weaknesses that make us upset? What makes us upset? Baba was explaining that like you don't have blood in the body, or is it less? It is less, then you feel weak. So what lacks in us as Brahmin souls that we become weak in our efforts or our face becomes sad?
Faith, sister.
Faith, yes. Faith, if faith is not there, then Baba says intoxication will not be there.
Even
and Baba also
lack of courage.
Lack of courage, yes. The courage to give away your vices. But for weakness especially, Baba mentioned that you get weak or you get upset usually when either there is lack of happiness or there is lack of power, or either of these things. If it is lacking happiness and powers, you will get upset. So how to remain happy? Baba said, if you want to remain happy, just remember that we are swinging in swings, the ups and downs, and this is all for entertainment. Right? And keep taking powers from me. Keep taking it. Take it is very easy. Keep taking the powers and using them in day-to-day life. And if you remain constantly in a knowledgeful and powerful stage, you try and remain. Initially, you will have to keep a check, and later on it will become a second habit. Right? So knowledgeful and powerful, if you're able to remain constantly, that is when you will forget being upset and it will be a thing of the past. Very nice. And this was a simple Murli that Baba spoke about. Anything I might have missed? There was also a gift that Baba mentioned, the gift of never getting upset. And what were the 3 things that we need to experiment our self-sovereignty on? There were 3 things that Baba said. One was matter, the other was Maya, and then there was one more thing, a situation. We have to experiment and utilize our self-sovereignty on any situation, on matter, and in the forms of Maya. So very nice. Let's all visualize ourselves as these beautiful, enlightened souls. A cluster of souls, beautiful and enlightened. Visualize ourselves as this cluster of souls in front of the Supreme Soul, the Father, and experiment and experience that He is showering His love on this group, this cluster. These enlightened souls, which I am also a part of. These are special souls. These are Brahmin souls. Brahmins considered to be close to God. Brahmins considered to be the authority. Brahmins having the power and the knowledge. The Brahmin souls having the balance of purity and kingdom. This cluster of beautiful souls in this Sangam Yoga, we feel so close to the Father, who is constantly showering His love, His knowledge, His powers on me with no conditions attached. This is bliss. I am such a lucky soul to be a part of this group of beautiful Brahmin souls, and to be able to call myself a Brahmin soul. It is such a serene, surreal experience. Every day, I feel I'm closer and closer to my final stage. My final stage, where I'm constantly knowledgeful, powerful, and pure. With this realization, me, the Brahman soul, am ready to take on the day's activities. And I choose to check on myself during the day as to how much I remain in the authority of religion, the truth, the purity, and the authority of self-sovereignty, having control on my sense organs. Shanti. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Shivanita. Thank
Have
you.
a nice
See you tomorrow at the same time at 5:30 a.m.
Shanti.